Yo, 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 what is up, guys? Aiden Smith, the Paint Your Path podcast. We got my man Justin Vega with Vega's Painting out of Port St. Lucie. What is up, bro?
What's going on, brother? I see you with the Eagles jersey on. You got a rep.
Stop playing. Yo, if you're an Eagles fan, we're up right now. We're sky high. Aren't you a
For
Seahawks
sure.
fan?
Big Seahawks fan.
Yeah, there's only one bird. There's
Right
only
now,
one
there's only
bird.
room for one bird, that's for sure.
Yeah. Nah, dude, it's Friday and the parade is today. So
Dope.
it's a big day down there. When I was there, because I went down for the Super Bowl to actually watch with like a bunch of my friends and family. They were like, "You staying for the Super Bowl?" I was like, "Bro, I've been traveling with the Expo in Colorado. Came down here. You're lucky I'm even here."
Yeah, that was probably quite the atmosphere out there in
Yeah,
Philly.
no,
I
no, no,
saw
it
some of
was
the videos
crazy.
of after. It got wild.
Yeah, bro. I mean, what do you expect?
No, for sure.
I seen somebody was like, Citizens Bank Park, Phillies. Somebody climbed on the sign and they threw a beer up. They caught it.
Wild.
Yo, these
Wild.
dudes are wild. But yeah, so obviously Eagles won the Super Bowl, so I'm super excited about that. We had the Expo that you weren't able to come to. I'm a little sick about.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Let's see, I had my two brother-in-laws, my wife's aunt,
Mm,
her two cousins, and a baby, all at my house. So
mm,
believe me when I say I wish I was at the expo. My house was a zoo, and
damn.
to get away for those couple days would have been nice. But
Yeah,
what are you
man.
gonna do?
It's honestly like I feel like every time I go, it gets better. Like in Colorado, I've never been, so I mean, beautiful,
Oh yeah,
mountainous, like Western, right? Kind of like a Yellowstone vibe. I'm actually dropping like a vlog on YouTube of me just like recording basically the whole thing. Um, we had the Airbnb, we did a bunch of dinners, like it was sick. So
that's what's up, man. I'm Next year we're in Orlando.
we're
Just a
doing it.
quick ride up the road, so I will for sure be there.
I
Family
know.
or not, I'm there.
I know. I was like, should I just get another Airbnb? But I'm like, it's right around the corner. I
Yeah, yeah, no,
don't know
I
if it's
wouldn't
worth
waste
it.
all the money. Yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, man. Justin, I want people to kind of get to know your story and your background and about you, just because, like, to me, I know all this stuff, but like, I'm like super proud of like what I've seen ever since we've met, right?
no, for
And
sure.
if you could like kind of talk to your background, your journey, where you started in the painting industry, because that's what we cover on this, right? Painting business and industry and stuff. So like, go ahead, man, wherever you want to start.
Yeah, man. I guess I'll start from like the very beginning.
Yeah.
15 years old, high school. And my dad's actually a painting contractor down in Broward. And it was like, hey, Justin, you want this new pair of sneakers? You want a haircut? You want this? You come help me tape, caulk, prep, whatever, anything besides painting. He let me do at a young age, and I was like, I guess I want all these things.
Mm,
And then it progressed. I went to college, got a degree, did my thing, and then I always came back to painting. So a lot of my painting experience came from working with my father. Um, it was good. The actual painting side of it was good. When it came to the business side, and I started my own thing because I met my wife here in Port St. Lucie, um, I had a lot of roadblocks.
mm,
Simply because I was following like what my dad used to do,
yeah.
very old school, very straightforward black and white technique, and nowadays it's just not the same. You have to
Yeah.
implement these new things. There's new technology, there's new ways of selling, there's new everything.
Yeah.
And I was stuck in probably like 1980s because
Yeah.
that's what I learned with my dad.
It's
And
funny you
then
mentioned that too, because like when I met you, I remember thinking like you're a pretty conservative guy. Like even when it came to, making investments, like you knew it had to be done, but you were like, look, I'm not a big spender. I'm pretty cool with what I got. And you were like kind of I just want to do good work, make sure my guys are good and I'm going to be good. So it's interesting that you're saying you came from like a conservative classic background. And a lot of people have that story like, hey, my dad taught me everything I know. You started as like a true apprentice. So you kind of know like, hey, the
100%.
real way to paint. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, even still to this day, it's like, even in the group that we're in, when people have questions about technique and things related to painting, I seem to know a lot of it because
Yeah,
of that. So for that, I'm grateful. But I always have questions about, you know, the newer ways to bid, the newer ways to
yeah,
market yourself, because I was never taught that. So when we got together, that was my biggest thing. It was like, look, I'm trying to take my business from comfortable to game changer. And now that, we've all hooked up, it's like, look, we're really starting to see some change and some difference
yeah.
in the business and the profits and everything. So I would say it was 100% worth like the investment, which like you said, I'm a big saver. I mean, if I got a dollar, I'm saving 90 cents.
Hmm.
But it's something that had to be done, and honestly, it paid off tenfold.
Yeah. It's funny because you're in like an area that's pretty crowded too, you know? Um,
Super.
right off the Treasure Coast in Florida, right? Port St. Lucie. And you got some heavy hitters down there. You know, there's three or four that I can name right off the bat, you know, that are
Definitely.
legitimate contenders, real brands, bright guys leading the charge, right? I just met one at the expo, Jose with Sailfish, super bright guy.
He is. He's a
So
great guy.
yeah, obviously we have KB and Braden and Kaylee in the group, right? And that was something that I even struggled with when they approached me to help them with the coaching because I was like, I don't know if there's that much opportunity down there to be kind of scaling a couple companies, you know?
But what's crazy is there is.
I know.
For such a compact area that we are, we have so much work here
Yeah.
that there's plenty for everybody. And I mean, and I truly, truly believe that, because Port St. Lucie, if you look it up, we're one of, again, not just for the first time, again, we are one of the top 10 growing cities in the nation,
Right.
not just Florida, in the nation. So think of that. Just right now, I just saw they approved another 2,500 homes to be built out west.
Sheesh.
So, I mean, even though that's production work, those people are going to get crap painter's edge everywhere. So, what are they going to want to do? They're going to want to put some
Mm-hmm.
nice duration, some color in their life.
Yeah.
So, that's 2,500 homes. One painter is not going to be able to handle all that.
Yeah.
So, there's work for everybody. And I
Yeah.
think it opens up doors for all of us to
Yeah.
bounce ideas off each other. Iron sharpens iron. So, like I said, there's plenty out there for everybody to work with.
Yeah, and it's cool because like obviously I approached you and I said, "Hey, they're looking, you know, Braden and KB, they're looking to join the coaching. Are you okay with that kind of thing?" And you were just like, "Look, I'm cool, like, you know, good relationship or whatever the case may be as far as like, hey, we're not like stepping on each other's toes. Obviously, we're trying to beat them. That's just the natural, but it's like, look, at the end of the day, you guys are collaborating on jobs like, hey, what did you bid? Hey, I bid this, right? That's like not common, right? Like back in the day, dude,
100%.
I remember I had people that I hope they lost every penny. You know, like I had that spite in my heart for a lot of the people around me. I think that's changing nowadays, you know, as
Yeah,
this
you
new
can't.
blood
You
comes
can't be
in.
like that.
Yeah. And you know, the more people are, you know, because I still believe there's a huge gap of quality, right? Even though you own a painting business, man, I mean, I would know this because I deal with so many of them, doesn't mean that you offer quality work. You know how to price, that you actually invest in yourself enough to be that trusted local company where you guys are actually investing in that. And that's why there's so much work available to you. When other people are like, dude, I can't seem to find a job or get work, you guys are like, I can't handle what I got, you know?
100%.
It's like a whole difference, and people can't wrap their mind around it. But what happens is you put in these things early on, and then slowly but surely it just crept up and went crazy, you know?
Yeah, like I said, I mean, iron sharpens iron,
Yeah.
and I'm a true believer in what you put out into this world comes back to you tenfold. So if you got that spite and hate in your heart, it's only going to come back to bite you in the ass,
Yeah.
and that's why I welcome it. I don't find it as competition, like you said. I find it as more like a collaboration. Look, you're you're here, we're here. Let's find a way that when these clients get both of us on the job, they're buying us.
Yes.
They're buying because they like us for some reason more, rather than, oh, your price is $1,000 cheaper than theirs. It's more like, okay, well, they're both similar. Who do I like better?
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, whoever they like better is going to get the job. So
Yeah. I talk about
To
that
me,
a
I think that's
lot.
a fair shot.
I talk about that a lot in the fact that what I do with like people what they're estimating, right? That's one portion of what I do, but it's such a game changer because at least now you know that the price is similar, right? My competitor is at least giving within, 10% of where I am, and like you said, they're choosing who they want to work with, the relatability of it, right? Like one of our coaches, Ben, he wanted to have me work with one of his competitors to help them with their estimating and whatnot. And I'm kind of like, are you sure? Like, is that, are you sure you want me to do that? And he was like, at the end of the day, I'm not like that. He's like, I want everybody to be as best they can. It's kind of like the Eagles going against the Chiefs. Do you prey on Patrick Mahomes' injury for their downfall and win? Or do you just say, hey, let's both go at it and the best team wins,
Well, I'm not a big Pat Mahomes fan, so I mean, whatever happens to that guy, it is what it is. No,
Yeah.
I'm kidding. But no, you always want to be best on best
Yeah.
because that's when you truly know you're doing the right thing.
100%.
It's almost like I don't know if you watch hockey, but it's like the Four Nations tournament going on right now.
Mm,
I mean, you know me, die hard Panther fan.
yeah.
There's 8 Panther players in that competition.
Wow.
Most of any team in the NHL, and it's like they did an interview with one of the Panthers players last night, Kachuk, and they were like, "Look, if you and Lundell, which on Finland, he's like, if
Hmm.
you guys go into a corner and you guys are fighting for a puck, what happens?" He's like, "Hey, at the end of the day, it's best on best. He's my good friend, but all that's
Yeah.
out the window because we're playing for our country. That's what you
Hmm.
want."
Yeah.
Me and Jose, great relationship. Me and
Hmm.
Braden, we were just on the phone chatting yesterday.
Hmm.
I want them at their best. So if I do get the job over them, it's like I was the better man this time. They
Yeah.
might be the better man next time. I mean, will I be upset? Absolutely not,
Right.
because at the end of the day, we're all trying to make each other better. So
And it's way better than the guy that don't have his shit together that bid 6K under and they're about to go out of business.
wild.
Now you're kind
So
of just like, damn, like I just got robbed basically.
so a little story on that.
Hmm.
I have a sub working on a job for me today down in Jupiter, and I made a joke with him because I saw one of that. We're not going to mention the company here. We're not going to
Hmm.
give them any shine. I saw their ad on Facebook, and there's my sub next to the owner
Ah,
in their ad.
shit.
So I
Hmm.
said to him, I was like, "Hey, he still got you in his ads." He's like, "Oh no, bro, I'm gonna call him. He needs to take that off.
Oh
I don't want to be
crap.
involved with them at all. They're bad people." He told me today straight up, he's got 3 people working for him now. When once before they were this behemoth of a company.
Oh really?
Yeah, so something's happening there where that's why we got undercut 6 grand on a bid because
Mm.
I think he's at the point where he's like, I need to land work to keep guys busy.
He's like desperate.
And that's exactly what me and Braden were talking about yesterday. The guy's
Hmm.
desperate for work right now. He's trying hard to like build back what he had,
Yeah.
so he's undercutting. But at the end of the day, it ain't the way to do it.
That's crazy that you even have a pulse on that's happening, Like because when you're in your industry or like if I'm in the coaching world, right, in this painting industry, I kind of have a pulse on what's going on in people's programs, coaches, other things they're doing. So like that means I'm tuned in, I'm invested, I'm all in, right? You got to be the same way with your painting business. You can't just be waiting for leads to come in or waiting for guys to hit you up for subs. Like you got to go out there and figure shit out, talk to
No, for
people.
sure.
Like that's people miss that. Like part of business is relationships, strategies, figuring out how you can be one chess piece ahead, right? One move ahead of the next guy because damn, there's a lot of variables out there, right? And just to know that this company is kind of going down a little bit, right? It kind of gives you like an idea that, okay, if I go to an estimate and I'm going apples to apples with this person, maybe I can talk to a little bit of why they should consider us and not a guy that's going out of business.
Yep, 100%. And you will still get those people who are 100% price driven. They don't
Yeah.
care how nice of a guy you are. They don't care what quality you have. They want the cheapest price, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I was speaking to this homeowner about that, he was that guy. There was
Mm.
no changing his mind. And I was like, look, he's like, oh, you have great reviews. You're a great guy. He's like, but I'm really not looking for what you're offering. I'm just trying to get the best price. And I told him respectfully, that will never be us.
Mm-hmm.
and that's okay because we don't aim to be the cheapest or the best price. We try and give you what we are capable of putting out there.
Yeah.
And if you like it, go with us. If not, if you're looking for just the bottom dollar, go with the other guy. And it's you let it roll off your shoulders at the end of the day.
Yeah. I think that's interesting too because you're going through a little bit of a rebrand, right?
Oh yeah, this isn't even the logo anymore, brother. I
I
haven't
know.
even got my new shirts yet.
Yeah. So what was the thought process behind that? And I'm sure it ties into making sure that you can be perceived as the company that, you know.
Exactly. So after discussion, I'm getting my truck wrapped and everything. We're getting some nice branding going. And it actually happened with that guy. We were
Mm,
talking and he's like, "Look, your logo, yeah, it's nice, but is it you?
yeah.
Is it you?" And right away I said, "Absolutely not. Like, what is this? This is something that I came up with very quickly just to kind of
Hmm.
get a nice little logo out there. Worked for the time being." He said, "You need to be front and center, whether it's what you believe in or your face."
Yeah.
And then when he said that to me, I was like, "Well, look, I got my little character guy, which we started with, and he definitely needed to be dialed in quite a bit." And he's like, "Look, let me work on this. I love this idea." And now our logo is like,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
It
I
looks
can't
super
wait to
nice.
like really put it out there and wrap the truck with it, get all the new shirts going. I mean,
Yeah.
they're already on order, but it really speaks to who we are and
Hmm.
who I am personally. Because at the end of the day, it's me on the line. Yeah, I
Yeah.
have all my guys I have to worry about. But at the end of the day, it's my company, and I need people to know this is what I'm bringing to the table. So you got to look official. You got to be
Yeah.
you, and that to me is huge because a lot of people nowadays are trying so hard to be something they're not.
Yeah.
Where being genuine means so much to people. It really does.
Yeah. Putting your face on something is like an ultimate, hey, I'm owning this, right? People definitely miss that. Like, again, back to, Ben, he was operating, my other coach, he was operating in the shadows for a long time. And I had to say, bro, you got to get in front of the camera. You got to get out there. You got to be social, get people to relate to you, get to know you. That's going to
Yep,
raise your status, your credibility, your trust factor. You're going to be able to land a lot more jobs, way more profitable.
one hundred
And also
percent,
your people respect you, I think, a little bit more too, right? Because you're the guy, right? It's like you're now the face. They have to carry that out. You know what I mean? Or
100
your head's
percent.
on it, literally.
No, yeah, for sure. Literally, it's like I gave today. We're working in a beautiful community, Jupiter Country Club,
Yeah.
and this is the third job with this specific client. And she's like, "Justin, I need cards. I need this." Like people ask me all the time, so I handed her a few of our new marketing materials. I gave her the door hangers. I gave her some new cards.
Hmm.
She looked right at it and said, "Are you kidding me? This is it." She's like, "I can't wait to give these to people. They're gonna love it
That's
because
awesome.
look, there's you." And
Hmm.
I'm like, bingo.
Yeah.
It's got our little QR code. Let them scan it. They'll see exactly what we're about. And I'd say this a year ago, I would have never thought of any of that.
Yeah.
But the investment that we were talking about before, it takes you to that next level to where it completely opens your mind
Yeah.
to new ideas and new things, and it's life changing. It really
It's
is.
almost fun too, right?
Oh man, I love it. When I got my first yard sign lead, I was like, damn, first
Hmm.
sign I ever put out.
Oh shit!
Put it out there right in the yard, number one out of the 50 I bought. Put it
Damn!
right in the yard the next day. Got the lead, went and did the estimate, sold it on the spot. Imagine how
Wow,
good that made me feel.
dude,
I was like, man,
your
my
investment paid
yard.
off.
I was like, my yard signs are paid for. Like, are you kidding me? My yard signs are paid for. My door hangers are paid for. One sign,
Yeah.
unreal.
Is your logo posted anywhere right now on Facebook or Instagram?
It's on my Facebook right now. Yeah,
I want
it's
to pull it up for because we post on Spotify and YouTube, so I want people to
yeah,
get
pull it up.
a visual cue and maybe some inspiration.
No, for sure.
It's kind of like a Tommy Mello esque, like A1 garage door.
Yeah, there
Boom,
he is.
there he is. Oh,
There's
that's
it. There.
awesome.
Yeah, man. I mean, from what if you're seeing my shirt right now, from that to this, I
Yeah,
mean, the color, um,
It's
What
huge,
else?
bro.
I
It's
mean,
masculine. It's bold letters. It's classic, right? You're on
look at
it.
that hair,
The
brother. I
thumbs
mean,
up.
come on.
All right, cool. If anybody can get inspiration from that, man, that's it right there. Nah,
Definitely,
that's cool, man. Now, what's cool is I saw you before all of this stuff, so I'm seeing you blossom like a little flower right now.
for sure.
Talk to me about like when you first met me. Where were you at? What was your revenue? Right, people love to know numbers and stuff. Talk to me about that and kind of where you're at
Gotcha.
now.
So I'd say when we first met, I was around 30, 35 a month. You know, not terrible, but definitely not good.
Right.
Scraping by for sure, figuring out why we're not making the money we should be. Um, then, we locked in, we got everything into place, and now we're easily 70, 75K a month. Um, we even had $100,000 a month twice.
Yeah.
I broadcasted it the first time because it's something that never happened to me before. But the
Yeah.
second time, it almost felt normal. I was like,
Mm.
another 100,000 a month, let's get it. That
Mm.
means if we keep this rate, we will easily be $1 million company in revenue every single year.
Damn.
And it felt good. Like you said, when you implement these things and it pays off, it feels great. And it really did. It felt amazing. I even tell my dad, we talk shop all the time. It's one of his favorite things to do with me. And you know what? I don't mind. So I tell him how I'm doing. He's like, Justin, how? I said, Dad, again, he's stuck in his ways. He will not spend money. And I was like, I invest here. I invest here. And at the end of the day, the benefits it reaps themselves. I was like,
Yeah.
the work you put in will come out if you try and
Damn.
you really put forth the effort. I think even my like review when you asked me to, like, hey, just tell us about your experience with the coaching group. I specifically said the the coaching only works as hard as you will.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are willing to put in the time, the effort, and the investments, you will see a dramatic change in what your business is.
Yeah.
And we have. I was on the brush. Look at my hands, clean, baby. I don't paint
Clean.
anymore. I don't paint anymore. I
Uh-huh.
don't. And it's not to say that I don't love it, because that's one thing I told you before. I was like, I love to paint.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong. I just can't anymore because if I am there on the brush, the business is being held back,
Yeah.
and I can't do it. I can't. I rather prosper than paint.
What do you feel? I mean, that's amazing, bro. I mean, you already know how I feel about it, but I just love to put it out there of what's possible, right? So people can see themselves like, damn, I am on the brush. I am that person that's stuck in my ways. Maybe they just don't have that way to get to the next step, right? Even if they got off the brush, maybe stuff wouldn't be set up properly for them to take advantage of some of the things you already have put into place. But like, is your mindset now shifted, right? Because I talk to a lot of people that are kind of off and on the brush. They'll say, hey, I'm looking to make a little bit more money. I'm going to hop on this job and just help out. Like, what is your thought process on that? I'm not even going to say none.
I used to think the same thing.
Mm,
I'd say about 6 months ago, that was my mindset. It's like, I charged two guys 3 days for this job, and man, if I get on the brush and we get it done in two, we'll make more money. It sets a bad precedent for your guys to think that you are going to be there to bail them out. At the
yeah,
end of the day, they want you to be out there getting them more work, because I don't know about any other painting company. My guys, I tell them, hey, you finish a job a half day early, I pay you for that full day.
mm-hmm,
A little bonus. I try and help you out. So if I'm there, I'm taking away from them. And if I'm there, how am I going to be out selling? How am I going to be reaching out to clients? How am I going to do all these other things that need to be done in the business? Again, if I'm there, I'm only holding us back.
yeah. It's the math almost doesn't math either, right? Let's just say you bring home another $1,000, right? In that day of you hopping on the brush or 2 days, whatever it is. At the end of the day, you could have went on 4 sales appointments, landed two, and now you just sold an extra 20K in work. You know what I mean?
100%. 100%.
And now you got a deposit, like you're more cash flowing. I mean, for me, it never made sense, but some people are still stuck in that way. So when I see people, obviously I won't name names, and I understand people go through their own journey, but it's like when I see them say, hey, we're taking this next leap in the business, and then all of a sudden I see them rolling walls, I'm kind of like, I wish I could just have a conversation with you, you know?
100%, 100%. I will be at the job recording my guys. That's
Yeah.
about what I do now. It's like, hey, like while you're rolling that wall, boop, record
Yep.
them, talk it up a little bit with them, and then I'm out of there.
Mm-hmm.
On to the next appointment, on to whatever's next.
Yeah.
Today I have two crews going. What time is it? 3:30. They're probably getting ready to finish up. They don't need me there. They
Yeah.
don't. I'm here doing this, and if I wasn't doing this, I would have set another appointment. But you gotta. I'm a firm believer in you have to organize your time in the right way
Yeah.
first before you try and take yourself off the brush, because you will start thinking, well, I'm home doing nothing, or I'm here doing this. You got to keep yourself going. And in my way, that's reaching out to clients, sharpening my marketing, and going on these sales calls,
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, if I'm not doing those things, we're not making money.
Yeah. It's almost like having an admin and saying, hey, it's the holidays, not many calls coming in. Hop on the tools. You know, we could use an extra hand. It's like, bro, there's a
Nah.
role for a reason, you know?
Yep.
Let's do what we do in this cog of a machine to keep shit rolling and keep shit growing, you know?
You have to. You have to. It's an absolute must.
Yeah. So talk to me like what specifically has been a game changer for you? You know, like if you were talking to your old self, what are like two or three things you would say, look, you have to do this?
So first things first, CRM. You remember on one of our first calls, you're like, hey, how do you keep track of everything? I pulled out my black book, right? And I opened it, it's just chicken scratch everywhere.
Yeah.
So a CRM will help you get super organized. Like, and I'm a big fan of DripJobs, even though sometimes we get our little wheel going. But at the end of the day, it is game changing.
Mm,
And I'm not endorsed by them by any means. You know what I mean?
mm,
I truly feel DripJobs has 100% changed our business,
mm.
from the automation to the organization, to sending nice professional looking quotes. CRM was a game changer. The next thing, and again, you can attest to this, I was super against subcontractors. I was like, why would I hire someone else to go do my work to cut into what I'm making? Well, if you set the expectation with them, like you told me, set the expectation, let them know it is what it is. You get a good one, you're off and running.
Phew.
Now you can do twice the amount of work.
Mm,
So that was the second thing that I thought really changed for me, was being able to hire a sub, because I
yeah.
was totally against it. Like, I don't know why. Again, my dad, you tell him to hire a subcontractor, he's like, oh no, no, oh no way, no way. Oh, what if they do this? What if they do that? But again, he has no SOPs in place. He has no structure there. If you implement those two things, how could they mess up?
Mm.
The only way they mess up is their skill.
Or bad guys, right? Bad
Or bad,
attitudes.
exactly. It'd be a skill or a people thing.
Mm-hmm.
But if you got the right people, you will never have a problem. And I finally found one. So
Amazing. Yeah, that's
happy.
good stuff, bro. Um, yeah, I mean, it's funny because these aren't crazy things. These aren't like I have to go to, you know, a grand school or even go into a program really to even learn these things. These are things that like it's just a shift of mindset and a shift of doing things, you know? And then when you look back, you're like, why the F was I not doing that, right? It's kind of like me
Yep.
with a calendar. Like I was an entrepreneur back in the day, but I was all over the place. And it's like now that I locked in my Google Calendar, I'm like, I couldn't imagine not having this, right? When my wife texts me, what are you doing later? And I look at my calendar, I know exactly what I'm doing now. You know what I mean? There's no
100%.
overlap. There's no bickering. It's like, look, this is my schedule. I even gave her access at this point so she
Yeah.
doesn't question
No,
it.
my wife has access to my Google Calendar. She has
Yeah.
access to my Drip Jobs. So she knows it's like, oh, Justin's got an appointment at 2. Oh, he might have one at 4:30. So all right, dinner will be 6.
Yep.
Oh, there's a
Mm-hmm.
call on the Tuesday, which I should be more involved in usually. But Tuesdays, my in-laws own a restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Tuesdays are slammed there, and I'm all about family, so I try and help them when I can.
Yeah.
If
You're
I'm not there,
Italian,
I'm in
right?
the Italian, yeah. So family is everything. Madon, family.
Yeah.
So I'm usually I'm there for them. They've always been there for me. So,
Yeah.
and if I'm not helping them at the restaurant on Tuesday nights, I'm in the call,
Mm-hmm.
trying to contribute as much as I can.
That's so funny. I know, man. For me, like I had the same background as like my stepfather or my not my stepfather, my father-in-law, got me into the business, and I feel like indebted to him because he helped me out a lot, right? Growing up, and like I didn't have the ideal situation, so he hooked me up a lot. So like
Hmm.
now he's working a job that like he's not attached to. Like it's he's pretty much retired, but he's like, Aiden, whenever you need me, you make the call. Let's go. You know what I mean? That's pretty cool to have, like,
No, it is for sure.
and they're really invested to what I'm doing. Like I'll be on the phone making a huge investment or like talking something, and they're kind of like, are you really going to do that? Now they're not questioning it anymore, because they're kind of like, wow, we see what you're doing. It's paying off. It's like what they say, you're crazy until it works,
100%. My in-laws tell me day in, day out, they're thankful for me for doing what I do for their daughter.
Ah, that's
Um,
amazing.
and I mean, when they're telling you that, how could you not want to just go deliver a few pies for them on a
Right.
busy night? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, look, I'm always here for your daughter, so I'll be there for you too. We're all family at the end of the
Yeah.
day. So, yeah, you do
What
what
a
you got to do. You know
guy.
what I mean?
What a
Hey,
guy.
man, I have my slice of humble pie every now and then too, but
Yeah.
I really do try and put out the best energy possible.
Yeah.
Because again, I believe it comes back to you tenfold. It
Yeah,
does.
man. So talk to me about some, like, these are obviously some great things that have happened in the journey. What are some struggles and some common things that like maybe people are going to experience when they're making this transition?
So again, like you said, it's going to be that constant fight trying to go back to the brush.
Hmm.
Um, I've had this issue. I actually was forced to stay off of the brush. I had surgery.
Hmm.
I think surgery was the best thing to ever happen to me because if it was up to me, I probably would have went back. Doctor said 2 months, no painting. I
Hmm.
was like, shit. So, but I had that constant fight to want to go back. Another thing is pricing, right? All of us think to ourselves, are we pricing things correctly? And when I first started this journey, I wasn't pricing high enough, I guess you would
Right.
say. Like I was underbidding a lot. I had this talk with KB, and he was like, "Dude, when you first started, he was like, damn, this Vegas painting guy is like 30% lower than us on every bid,
Hmm.
right?" And then I raised my prices. I locked in my rates. Um, Next thing you know, I was the very highest guy all the time. Still getting some jobs, but not as many as I'd like. So I went to the chalkboard. I was like, I literally would time my guys how long it would take to paint a wall or
Right.
paint a bedroom, two coats, paint a door, paint it, whatever it may be. I literally sat there all day
Mm.
and figured, okay, this is how long it takes them to paint this room. And I locked in my rates a little bit better. Still making great money, definitely charging more than I was before, not charging as much as I was because overbidding isn't any better than
Right.
underbidding.
Hmm.
You have to be at a fair market value no matter
Hmm.
what no matter what you're selling.
If you don't have a reasonable price, like at least reasonable, it can be high, but reasonable, like it's going to be a hard time to make sales, right? And it's
100%.
funny because there's a lot of levers you have to pull, right? You making an investment in your brand and doing these things allowed you to be more competitive and price things at a higher mark, right? So
Yep.
let's just say you tried to go and measure your guys and raise your prices because you were like, I don't want to be that lower guy. It still wouldn't have worked because the other side of your business isn't up to that level to match it,
100%.
you know?
If you're going to go in there being the highest guy, you better show up with like the iPad,
Yep.
collared shirt, like clean, crisp all the time, branding on the vehicle you pull up in. And that was me. I was showing, I have my nice collared shirts. I should be wearing one now, but I'm not. Um, I have my nice shirts. I have my nice, my appointment gear,
Yeah.
pulling up in my truck with no branding, doing the estimates right here on my phone rather
Right.
than like a nice iPad, and no branding on my vehicle. And it's
Mm.
like, this guy is like halfway there. So a lot of perception is everything. If people
Yeah.
perceive you to be this very legit company and you come at them with a price that's slightly higher than somebody else's, they're still going to want to go with you because they see how legit and official you are.
Yeah, for
An
sure.
image is everything.
Yeah, man.
Everything.
What is your thought process on like going for your ideal customer, right? Like there are painting contractors out there that look, I'll take new construction, I'll go commercial, I'll go residential, I'll go epoxy floors, whatever pays. Like what is your thought process on like locking in on what you're great at, what your guys know and your numbers work with them?
Right there, what you just said. Do what you're great at. Bottom line. So I'm a little blessed. My background working with my father was mainly new construction commercial. I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking hotels, Walmarts. I mean, behemoth of jobs, schools, repaints of school. That was me on lifts, swing stage, the whole nine.
Mm-hmm.
When I moved here to Port St. Lucie and I had to get a job, I worked for a guy only residential repaints.
Damn. So you
So
had best of both worlds.
I have a lot of the best of both worlds. So what I like to do is my bread and butter residential interior exterior repaints. That's my bread and butter. I'm not going to lie to you. I do take on some new construction
Right.
with one contractor. That's it. The
Mm-hmm.
only reason I work with them is because we have this relationship where we understand each other. We
Mm-hmm.
understand the process, the pricing, and the products.
Yeah.
So there's never a misstep. And then I actually just recently, I mean, in the last couple of months, off of a Facebook ad, got linked up with a guy who does only custom new build homes.
Yeah.
Again, we sat down, we had an understanding of each other, of pricing, products, and procedures,
Mm-hmm.
and everything lined up. So I gave it a shot. Probably one of the best things I've ever done.
Nice.
We're painting a $7 million home on Singer Island, and he's paying very well.
Is that you know who?
No, 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 no. That
Okay. Are we
that would be
allowed to
with the.
mention it? I don't know if you have
I don't.
NDA or
I wouldn't.
something.
I don't. There's no NDA or anything. I
Okay.
mean, that's not the. I'll say it. That's not the Bongino job.
Yeah, yeah. Famous
The bon.
podcaster Dan Bongino, my man Vega's taking on. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
we're painting his new podcast building, and it's actually just about finished. Um,
Mm,
funny, we got a call today. He's like from the contractor. That's the one contractor I really like to work with for new construction, commercial work.
yeah.
And the super calls me today. He's like, "Hey, you still got, we got little things here and there from the furniture and the AV guys." I said, "Look, everyone out, everyone out of that building, and then I will come finish.
Mm,
I'll come do the little, touch up this piece of base where someone hit it with a couch or whatever it
right.
may be. You know, there's also that's another thing I usually tell people when you're new construction, you have to have a strong mind to tell
Mm,
these people how you are going to do it because if not, they will walk all over you.
yep.
If it was up to them, I'd be there 10 times touching up.
Yep.
No, one touch up at the very end. That way, right before they're ready to move in, all the painting's done.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And that's exactly what I told him today, and he agreed.
This is gonna be the guy who's still like in the paintings favorite episode, right? Because I want to dig a little deeper on that. When you're talking to these custom build guys, being a technically a sub, and subbing and whatnot, what are those meetings like when you first meet them? What is that interaction like? What things are you saying? Hey, this is how it's done. Blah blah blah.
So I set myself straight right away. Look, this is how I like to get your jobs done. It's proven and it works.
Mm-hmm.
If they disagree, I walk away because there are right ways and wrong ways to do things, and I like
Right.
to do things the right way. So, say you get a house, right? Brand new custom build. Ideally, I'm in there before anything goes in. Drywall's finished, perfect. I'm there. Tape off all the windows, tape off whatever sliding glass doors, whatnot. Prime the whole place. Finish the ceilings. One coat on the walls, and it's see you later
Mm.
to the very end. Get get your flooring in. Get all your baseboard in. Get all your doors in. I'll come back.
Right.
Then it's spraying out all your trim, getting all that ready, cutting back all the walls, and then at the very end, if they want to throw cabinets in or whatever, little touch up here, little
Right.
touch up there. Again, that's fine. But all that comes at the very end because
Yeah.
I'm not touching up 10 times and I'm not repainting walls 5 times. There's no way.
Are you
You get,
caulking all the baseboards?
you have to.
Yeah.
You have to. There's no way around it.
I just didn't know if the flooring people were doing that.
Nope.
No.
They
Right.
don't want to do any of that.
That's what I saw.
Yeah,
um,
I have a little saying, and I learned this again from my dad, old school. A little caulk, putty, and paint makes a carpenter what they ain't. And it's true. You're better
hmm
off prepping off your own stuff because at the end of the day, if it looks like crap because they did it and you paint it,
Yeah.
guess who's going to be held responsible for the crappy prep? The painter.
100%. Yeah. So you're going back in. Initially, there's no floors, so you're not even masking. And then you're going back when the floor's done. You're laying down your board, whatever it is, paper.
Really quick, that's
hmm
another thing I lay the groundwork for. They have to cover their floor.
Oh, really?
Yes, I say, look, if you want me to cover it, fine. It's extra.
hmm
I shouldn't have to go buy Ramboard to cover your floor.
Right.
So we level with each other. They'll cover the floor. When we go to spray the base, all we should be responsible is 12 inches from the base to the 12 inches to the base.
hmm
So that way you take paper, run in your machine, tape it down real nice, tape it to there,
Gotcha.
spray
So
your
you're
trim,
saying like if there's a small gap, we'll take care of it.
and that's how it should be because at
Yeah.
the end of the day, you want to make sure the prep is done correctly.
Right.
So you're better off taping it off to make sure, hey, this slid right under that piece of
Yeah.
baseboard, not a an eighth of an inch. Now when you paint, you got paint on the floor.
Yeah.
I've
Cool.
seen it both ways.
Yeah, I actually like that because if you cover the floor, one that's really expensive, and as the price goes up, they start to look at it like look at you with three eyes, right? Like you have three eyeballs. And then also they can put whatever they want that they feel comfortable. If it's a really high end floor, they can put down their RAM board and whatever they want, right? Whereas you don't have to worry about making that decision and whatnot. So
Yep.
I like that idea. And they
And
have
then
other people coming in, so you're protecting a floor for people that are going to be potentially messing it up. You know what I mean? So
so that's one of my reasons why I say you tape off the majority of it because at the end of the day, that contractor's the one bringing in every other trade in the book. They're bringing
100%.
in electricians. They're bringing in plumbers. They're bringing in carpenters. Why should I protect the floor for all these other people?
Dude,
You shouldn't have to.
you're
I mean,
spitting right now. People are right now going crazy.
yeah, people are like, no, people are probably like, you're the painter. Absolutely not. I'm
Yeah.
not prepping any. Is that plumber going to patch that hole in the wall for you after they
Right.
cut out to put a pipe? No. They're
Mhm.
going to get the drywall guy or the painter to do it. So why am I prepping off everything else for
Yeah.
everyone else?
Love it. It's amazing.
You have,
So
and that's what I'm saying. You got to be strong with some of these people. You
for
have to,
sure. Mhm.
because if not, they'll walk right all over you.
Now, how much do you invest into like the actual relationship, right? Obviously, you have your work, hey, here's what's to be done, but like, are you going out to lunch with them? Are you, hey, checking in, shooting the shit?
Oh yeah. So as like we were just saying, my in-laws, they own the pizzeria.
Mm.
Christmas, I told both my contractors. I even told my paint store. I told my rep. I told everyone that I really know. Look, go there and get whatever you want.
hmm
Tell them I'll pay for it. Go order whatever you want.
The
Cater.
Don.
Yeah, cater your lunch if you want. If
Yeah.
you got an office full of people, cater lunch. I don't care.
hmm
So both my contractors did it. My main store did it. My home store right here up the street, and I took care of the bill. Of course, my brother-in-law was like, "Oh, don't worry about it." No, no, no. You're supplying 3 trays of chicken parmesan for these
Right.
people.
Yeah.
No, I'm paying for it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I do. I take care of people who take care of me. If they're giving me all this work, um, the office for Kirchman Construction, I'll bring them donuts if I can.
Yeah.
And it's like I go to pick up a check, I bring a little something. I
hmm
know the girl in the front. She loves every time I'm in there picking up a check. She's got Chick-fil-A.
Mm.
It's right around the corner from their office. So what do? I bring a $25 gift card to Chick-fil-A.
Mm.
Keep them happy. Keep them in your
You're
right
being a
pocket.
mensch, right? It's how you keep it going.
Yeah, you got to kiss. Sometimes you got to kiss ass a little bit. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You got to stay in people's good graces, and these little things help.
Now, when they have some drama and they got some things going on, are you taking care of them then? Are you making the call?
Uh, Depends what the drama is.
That's so funny.
Depends.
Um, yeah, man, dude, this is all awesome, bro. So when you first joined, bro, like obviously you were the guy that was just trying to learn, right? You were figuring stuff out, you're applying, seeing what was working. Now you're somebody that people go to as like a resource, right? We talked about it a little bit, like your knowledge in the trade, some of the resources you have now, and the way you kind of go about things. People look for you. Hey, what would you do, right? So like
Yeah.
one of the cool things you brought to the table is the blueprints, right? We talked about the new construction and whatnot. I have a
Yep.
commercial, background, so I can read a blueprint, but I'm not like an ace, right? I can go through and
Gotcha.
use the scale and the pen and whatnot. But it's like time consuming. A lot of times those bids really aren't even worth it in the long
It's a
run because it's
headache.
just like one of those things. So you found a resource where you just send those over. He takes care of them, and now you're kind of like, hey, here's the bid, right? Talk about that process.
So again, coming from one of the first things I was taught, other than caulking, taping, and whatnot, was how to read a blueprint. I'm
Hmm.
talking the architect's ruler, big plans
Yep.
on my dad's dining room table, measuring it, writing it down. Right nowadays, we get blessed with takeoff software, where they send you the plans, you put them in your takeoff software, and you just go crazy.
Hmm.
Either way, it takes a lot of time.
It's
I've
still
spent
work.
I've spent like 3 days, 3 8-hour days measuring out jobs to come up with a number and then not get the job.
Right.
Imagine how that makes you feel.
Hmm.
Like, well, there goes 24 hours of my life that I'm never going to get back, right?
Hmm.
So I did like all of us do, right? We're trying to find something that's going to work. I found a guy on Fiverr. Um, he's out of Pakistan. We talked, we chatted back and forth before I even gave him one job, and I liked what he was saying because
Hmm.
I can read blueprints. If I really wanted to, I'd bid every job myself. But again, I can't and I won't. So I was like, you know what? Let me give this guy a shot. Very detailed on what needs to be done because when you get blueprints, it's every trade's in there. You got
Yeah.
mechanical, you got roofing, you got simplify it for them. Send them only the floor plan, send them the elevations, and send them the finish schedule. Right? That's all you have to do. That's all you need as a painter. So I send him everything that he needs. I say, look, ceilings to be painted. This ceiling's a drop ceiling in area XYZ.
Yep.
Um, Vinyl base here, 4-inch wood base here, whatever it might be. Right? You specifically just write it out for them. That way their life is easy. I send him the bid. He is a rock star. And Ben can attest to this. He
Yeah.
will send you back a color coded, complete markup sheet of everything he did. Ceilings are purple. Uh, Paint color number one is in red. Paint color number two is in lime green. Doors are in blue. Baseboard is in whatever. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And there's a complete takeoff of what you need. Other than that, he sends you a full Excel sheet of all of his measurements.
Yeah.
The guy's so on it, he includes waste. Like that's how on it. Me
Yeah.
when he sends me the 10% waste, I delete it because
Yeah.
you add 10% to your
You're
bid, you're
out.
out. You're out.
Right.
But it's just how detailed he is that impresses me.
Mm.
So he sends you a whole list. Like here's P1 Sherwin-Williams, white, pure white for
Yep.
ceilings,
Hmm.
square footage, and then I tell him to leave the numbers out because everyone's numbers are different.
Hmm.
And this is what I was telling Mirna the other day. We actually got on the phone, and I was like, what I bid here in Florida, especially new construction, is not going to be what you're bidding in Colorado.
Right.
Believe me. When she told me her ProMar 200 price in Colorado, I nearly shit myself. I was like, I get cashmere and super paint for that price here, almost duration for
Yeah.
what you pay for ProMar. So we cannot be on the same, we
Right.
can't have the
Your
same
price
numbers.
versus,
There's no way.
it's no way.
There's no way. So he sends me the list. I insert my labor cost, my material cost per square foot or linear foot or per line item,
Yeah.
and his spreadsheet calculates everything for you. There's your number at the bottom. So
Wow.
instead of taking 24 hours to bid a job, I send it to him. I pay 150 bucks maybe. Sometimes this guy's done a $20,000 job for me for $20.
Give him a little commission.
I mean, you go in there, you put your numbers in, takes 20 minutes,
Yeah,
and your bid's ready to go.
that's crazy. And
Complete game changer.
is he recommending, because some people don't even know where to start with numbers? Is he recommending numbers?
So he puts industry standard.
Okay.
Mind you, he's out of Pakistan. So he
Right.
puts worldwide standard there. Now think of that. Like
Mm-hmm.
you got some I don't know how much it costs to paint in like Paris, France or
Yeah,
something.
I
You know what
seen
I mean?
Dominican Republic. These guys are just have a a hard hat on and they're going in.
You see what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
then there's also places like New York where it's all union work.
Right.
Like up north, it's a lot of union work. So their prices are astronomical.
Yep.
So it's industry standard. He'll put it in. If I ever send my guy a bid with those prices, he's gonna call me right away. Like Justin, what are
Yeah.
you
Right.
doing?
Right.
Like
Mm-hmm.
what are you saying? This is like 3 times what it should be. So
And
you really have to still dial in what you're gonna charge
yeah.
and insert it.
And
It
I'm
just makes life
sure
easy.
there's a resource out there. I mean, first thing I can think of is ChatGPT, right? Give it a prompt that says, "Hey, I'm bidding new construction, right? I'm in this area. Could you give me like generally where I can be, break down the labor price and material price. Here's how much I pay for my paint." I think that would be a good starting point. Another one, there's like a website out there. I can't figure what it's called though.
Well, even in the PCA, they have bidding standards and
Gotcha.
estimating standards there too.
Very true.
Um, but I will say this: GPT
Mhm.
will make you overbid.
Okay. You tried it?
Just tried it. I had a talk
Okay.
about this with Karsten the other day,
Mm,
and he said I put it in Chat GPT, and they wanted me to charge like $5 a square foot, paintable
right.
square foot, and I'm like,
Mm.
no way.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm really good with giving it prompts though. I'm like a pro at it, right? So
yeah,
I can get it like tighter just giving it more information, but I get what you're saying, right? It's like Googling how much should I charge for a house. It's like, you know.
precisely.
Yeah. Cool, bro. Yeah, man, I guess we can wrap it up. Is there anything you want to mention? Anything you want to put out there to the world? I know you're doing some big things.
Honestly, just my main thing I like to tell everybody out there: be a good person,
Mm-hmm.
straight up. Nothing, you will get nothing back better in life than just being a solid freaking person.
Yeah.
No one likes a phony. No one likes a fake. I'm a firm believer in just be you,
Yeah.
which is why my logo is me. Because at the end of the day, my company is just me put out there. I also just want to quickly shout out you and your coaching program because without it, I would still be on the brush scraping by every single day.
Mm,
So even if if you're listening and you're thinking about hiring Aiden or any of these other coaches, do your research. And I'll tell you right now, make the investment,
mm-hmm.
change your life, change your business, and get it done. Because if I never did it, I don't want to curse too much, but I'd be screwed.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? I'd be effed. So,
Yeah, bro. Dude,
just
pleasure kicking with you, bro. And I
always,
appreciate
man.
you. I appreciate you in the group, man. There's going to be some big things ahead, bro. I think you also have a really cool opportunity to do more than just a painting, business. I think we need more leaders in the space. We need more people like you who are good people that aren't afraid to help other people out, like you've shown, right, for our group. So I'm grateful for you, bro. You're an awesome dude. You're a great friend, and yeah, man, to much more success, man.
Likewise. Same to you, brother.
Yes, sir, man. So, guys, go subscribe, go like, whatever you got to do. YouTube, Spotify, Paint Your Path podcast. And if you want to connect with Justin, where can they find you?
We're on Facebook, Vegas Painting and Pressure Cleaning. We're on Instagram, Vegas Painting 772. Our website, vegaspaintingfl.com.
Cool.
Um, and if you ever want to reach out to me, my number's on all my socials. Hit me up. I'm always
Yeah.
down to talk shop.
Vegas, Vegas
That's
Painting,
right.
guys. So, pleasure, my man. And we'll catch you guys in the next one.
Sounds good. Peace and love.